Hi, this is Colour Girl, and you're watching Essential Garage Tape Pack Podcast. Keep watching, keep watching, keep watching, keep watching.
So welcome to another Essential Garage Tape Pack with myself, Shane. Today's guest, I don't think I need to say anything more. This is memories of listening to her music for years, and finally we've been in conversation for so long. We've now managed to get her on our podcast today. The string of releases from back in the mid-90s to the early noughties tore the dance floor across Europe and in the UK. I don't think I need to say any more. Lovely to have you today on our podcast, Colour Girl. Lovely to have you on.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
Absolutely glad to be here.
Yeah.
I love what you're doing, and
Thank
I
you.
want to be fully supportive of the Essential code.
Thank you very much.
what
Of
was
course. No, definitely. Obviously, we've been speaking off camera for a little while. We've been talking, and finally we've got you here. Just before we move on into the reason why you're here today, how you been keeping with yourself of late?
Yeah, good.
Yeah?
Can't complain. Life's really cool. Life's really peachy for me at the moment for
Good.
something that I told you today, which I'm not sure if I can share it yet. I haven't
course.
checked it with the team, but
Mm,
obviously you know what I'm talking about. If
of
only you knew
course.
what I know. Yeah, so because of that,
Mm.
I will have a lot more freedom as a musician.
Good.
So making a lot of new music as a producer now, as well as the singer, the writer and the composer. And I'll be starting my own record label in order to put these things through. So I'm just going to continue to be a musician, which is what I should be doing
Yeah.
and what I should always have been doing. But this time with nothing in the way.
Well, we will get onto that, but of course, for obvious reasons, we can't always discuss certain things at the point. But that's beautiful. That obviously your journey so far with what you're telling us.
Yeah.
Let's go a little bit back to how it all started for you. So tell us a little bit about where you're born and your background.
Well, I was born in Chelmsford in Essex,
Okay.
but spent most of my life running away to other places. So I lived in London a lot at
Okay.
many different times, and I've lived north, south, east, and west
Okay.
London. But I also ran off to Los Angeles for a couple of years, and my
Oh.
son went to school there. So
Oh.
yeah, my sister lives there, so that's how I ended up there. I didn't want to come home, but I didn't go with a proper plan. And in LA or anywhere in America, you need a real plan because you need money. You need to know that you're always going to have an income. But I went there with a bunch of money thinking I'd figure it out, but I fucked up. I bet you're going to take that out.
That's all right. And so talking about your siblings, is it one sibling you got, or?
No, I have two brothers and a sister.
Oh, big family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mum was busy, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And what was life growing up at those times when around siblings?
Life was a bit mad, a bit hectic in a house like that. The first music I was experiencing was what my mum played. She played the Beach Boys. She played the Stylistics on repeat. I used to think that guy was a girl because when I was young, you'll never get to him and all that stuff. I was like, what? It's got to be a woman. Sounded just like a woman, but really it was the guy, wasn't it? He just had that superb, what do you call it? Vibrato.
Yes.
What do you call it?
Was that like one of the first
Yeah.
early memories of listening to music,
Yeah.
getting wanted? Yeah.
And the Mamas and Papas. So you had the Beach Boys, the Stylistics, and the Mamas and Papas.
Okay.
And I believe that this where sometimes when I do high stuff, that I'm addicted and all that stuff comes from the stylistic times. And I think my writing ways come from listening to Mamas and Papas and the Beach Boys.
That's interesting.
I truly believe that that's why I ended up writing the songs that I wrote. But moving further away from that, when I was Still growing up, like teenager, it was 80s soul, and it was people like Evelyn Champagne. Sorry, I'll cut that
Evelyn,
bit again.
Evelyn,
Evelyn Champagne King, Melba Moore, Terry Wells, Sharon Red, the Fatback Band, Somebody Joseph. You can hide your love from me, him. Oh God, who else? There was Five Star. There was Joyce Sims,
Joyce there.
Mantronics and Wondrous. I always remember when I heard Mantronics and Wondrous, I thought, wow, I wish I wrote that. And I wasn't even a songwriter at the time,
Wow.
but that's what I remember thinking.
So what actually got you into music in the first place
My big
then?
brother.
Really?
Yeah, my big brother Mark used to spend all his pocket money on American imports, which was when 12 inches first came about. So you had 45 vinyls.
Okay.
And then when the 12 inches hit, like which was the size of an album, but they were singles, people couldn't get enough of them. And it was like high fashion to own those records. And my brother would spend all his money on them. So we even had things like Booker Newberry as well, all the singers I've just mentioned.
Okay.
So he got me into wishing I could sing. So Evelyn King made me wish I could sing, and Mantronics and Wondrous made me wish I could write. So we sort of get into places in my head where I've been inspired to do each thing, and that's who did it for me at the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, that's very interesting that you
Yeah,
said
because
that.
there was no one musical in my family. I can't say, oh yeah, I come from a family of musicians. Yeah, and we're all like, yeah. That would be bullshit. No, no one in the only person that was anywhere near musical was my brother Mark with his vast collection of 12-inch imports. And
Okay.
he really did wake me up to music.
So in that time that you're finding your way with music at that point, was there anyone in your circle, like your friends at school,
No.
or anyone that was in groups, or you just thought this is what I want to do, I like this sort of I like the combination of the songwriters, I like what we're hearing now, the music's changing now, sort of going through to the sort of mid 80s, late 80s now. There's that sounds changing, like the soul to souls coming in. It's more UK based now. Was that sort of your early?
I mean, I liked Soul to Soul, but I
Yeah.
loved Madonna more. I was a big Madonna fan.
Really?
Yeah, when I was 17, I went to her concert and I thought I was the bee's kneecaps. Listen, there was nothing was going to stop me getting there. Wouldn't have mattered what had happened. I would have got there, even if I had to walk there. It was insane to know I was staring right at her, even though she only looked about this big. Because it was Wembley Stadium before they brought it all down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
That's
going back
right.
some, I used to dress like her and everything. I wanted to be her. I was a proper fan. Yeah. Still at this point, I hadn't made any music of my own.
At that point, yeah. You talk about Madtronic being a part of your journey.
Yeah.
What was the first song that stuck out for you?
When they worked with Wondrous and did Gotta Find a Way to Get Into Your Heart. Dum
Okay.
dum dum da da dum dum. Ba-dum bum. Ba-dum
That-
bum. Yeah, that one.
Oh yeah.
I honestly, I heard it and I was like, wow. I just had it on repeat. I was known for repeating something maybe 20,000 times before I got fed up with it. If I loved a record, it got rinsed.
You're like me then. That's
Yeah.
it. I like that. Yeah.
Couldn't get enough of these
Because
songs.
it's almost like you're trying to digest also what your
Yeah.
the song. You like the song so much, you now want to take part of
Yeah,
the song.
and
So you don't want to know the lyrics, you want to know how it comes in,
Yeah.
you want to know it ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you start to hear the B line, and then you start to hear the pickup beats, and then you start to hear the extra sounds they put in.
Mm.
And without I think it was a subconscious thing with me. I would start to truly pick them apart,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really interesting that you said that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just yeah,
Now I really do it because I'm a
I
producer.
thought it was just me. Right. It's nice to
No.
know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow, that's interesting because
Mm.
you don't make music. Oh, you have made music though.
I've put out a few. Yeah,
I
I've put
forgot. Sorry, my bad.
no,
And
no,
you
it's
produced
all right.
them.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why you pick things apart. You
Yeah,
become a
so
picker.
for that reason. So
Yeah.
I would study a particular artist. So for example, if I was building like a garage house track, I would listen to someone like Kerry Chandler for
Oh, I
ideas. So
loved him.
his breakdowns are
love
really amazing. So I might get ideas because some of his chords come in a certain way. So I want to
Yeah,
find a way to make a chord to sound like that,
yeah,
but with my own twist,
yeah.
or
Take it and make it your own.
you make
There's
it
that.
your own,
Yeah,
or I might like the way that
everyone does that, Shane.
it,
Everyone takes something from somewhere, and what you do is it
mm,
may be some people like say, "No, I don't," but even it could be subconscious, but you do it.
yeah,
And then all these things come together later on, and you think, "How did I get that?" So, for example, you know my track "Over You,"
yeah,
"Over You, I'm over you." I was thinking, why do I sing over? Why do I sing it like that? And then all of a sudden, one day, I stumbled across a track from the '80s called "I Can't Believe It's So." No, "It's Over" by the Funk Masters. I
okay.
can't believe it's over. I can't believe we're
Oh,
through. And I'm thinking, that's why I sing it like that. So I took that over from all them years ago and
yeah,
put it into Over You. Honestly, it's
yeah,
definitely a connection. And it brings me back to what I was saying that
mm,
you take things through your life and they come out in all different places.
favourite places. Yeah, that's yeah,
That's a fact.
that is a fact, definitely. During just off sort of the subject, same subject here for a minute. You're listening to all these styles of music. Were you listening to any sort of pirate or mainstream stations at this point during sort of the late 80s, early 90s for ideas, inspiration now at this point?
No, in 1988,
Okay.
I got approached by someone I knew from school who had a hip hop band. And I wasn't really making music up until this point. It was all about being influenced over these years
Mm.
and what I loved, what I didn't love, singing my guts out to these songs. And then in 1988, which wasn't too far from the early 80s, I got asked to be in this hip hop band by my friend Julian. Um, and I said, no, I can't sing. I was just sort of all like that. He went, no, go on, Beck, be in it, be in it. And I think it was just because I looked all right and I had long blonde hair. So I got in the band just because I had long blonde hair, I
Have
think.
you always had long blonde hair?
No, so I've cut it short before.
Yeah.
I got fed up with it having long blonde hair. So anyway, I joined this band. They were fantastic, this band.
Okay.
They were really great musicians.
Okay.
But we argued more than we PA'd, but they had rappers in the band and I was just a chorus girl. So I did their choruses and that was it. And then what happened was I ended up breaking away from them because I moved to London in 1993
Okay.
and I moved in with Nathan, who you're going to see in a few days.
Yeah.
Me and Nathan became boyfriend, girlfriend. I was already making music at the time. I was in some dodgy rave band. I'd gone from the hip hop band to try my luck with this dodgy rave band, but it lasted just a few months. And we went on tours to Scotland and I just got in it just for the tours and the excitement of doing bigger crowds,
Yeah.
but it was really cheesy. So I'm afraid to admit that that's what I did for 8 months. Then I moved in with Nathan. I inspired him to make music.
Hmm.
And around about this time, Nath got an inheritance. So he started his studio in Wandsworth,
Okay.
which became the Baffled headquarters.
Ah, okay.
So I'll let him pick up that part. But anyway,
No, that's fine. Thank you.
shout out to Nath and Shishi. So Gavin's the other half, a production brother. But I used to call him Shishi and it used to drive him nuts. Shishi. Anyway, back to the story. So
Yeah.
I'd moved in with Nath
Mm.
and around this time, Nathan had his studio. So this is how my garage journey began.
Mm.
They produced a track called Dreams. And all I sing in it is dreams don't take your mind. And that's it. And that was it. And it was really pretty crap, really. It was great production, but for my input was pretty rubbish. Around about the same time, a track that I did with the cheesy rave band called Around in My Heart got a remix from Banana Republic, but I can't remember how that happened. Now, for those who don't know, Banana Republic were heavy early garage people, fantastic producers, responsible for so many things so many tracks you would know, right?
That is true.
How
Yeah.
that came about, my memory fails. So I've got Dreams.
Yeah.
I've got Around in My Heart with the remix. Next thing we know, we make this track Over You, me, Nathan and Shisha, over in Nathan's studio in Wandsworth. We stayed in a lot back then. We didn't go out raving. And then one day someone came to our house, some DJ, I can't remember who, sorry.
That's all right.
And he went, there's this track they're playing at the moment, and every time it comes on, all the girls run to the dance floor. And we're like, oh, yeah, what's that then? And he went, it's called Over You. And we went, what? Does it go like this? We started singing the song, and he was like, yeah. And we're like, but that's our track. And he went, shut up. I was like, no, it's our track. And that's how we found out that Over You got big.
We will touch on that, definitely, because I want to hear that journey. That's an important part of your journey as well, because that really just takes off from there. But we will touch on that.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's all right.
Went off on a tangent there.
That's all right. So you talk about the transition from being in a hip hop group to
Yeah.
dance. Like, why the change?
Well, the band sort of split up, and I was in the middle of things. This was before I met Nathan that I joined this, but I was just bored musically, and I just wanted to try it to see. I knew it was cheesy sort of music, but I thought, let me just try. And I did some packed out clubs with this band. So it was like going from pub gigs with 10 people in to massive clubs in Scotland and Ireland and like thousands of people. So I got that. If I could say what I took from that was, one, I don't like cheesy rave music, but two, I learned how to operate on a stage in front of thousands of people.
Were you inspired by anyone at this point? With performers that, you mentioned about Madonna and watching her, like,
Madonna was way back before this.
so had you gone out anywhere to, watch anyone perform live to get an experience yourself, or is it just natural?
Well, around the time we're at now, so I'm moved in with Nate. We've got dreams. I've got Around in My Heart. Oh, if we can talk about that times, I can tell you exactly who was inspiring me. At the time, it was US Garage. So we had house for many years. US Garage had just hit, and it was an insane, all-inspiring experience. Let me tell you, we would go to Ministry on a Saturday and come back and make our bangers. And now our bangers didn't sound anything like their bangers, but it inspired us so. We had no idea we were making a new genre. No freaking clue. We just wanted to be like you. Everyone was copying the Americans. I don't care what you say. Be honest. Comes back to what we were saying earlier.
Yeah.
Your influences come from many places, but listen, Colorblind, nothing better.
What a classic. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Listen, there's no coincidence with the name. I didn't know them when I named myself Color Girl. So Color Girl, Colorblind, they were called Colorblind. I'm not sure who the vocalist was, but the producer outfit, I believe, was called Colorblind. Nothing better. That was such a tune.
I'm not sure if Victor Simonelli had anything to do with that. I think so.
I'm trying to think who the vocalist is.
I'm not sure the vocalist is, no.
And I'll tell you else, Duke, So in Love. Woman, I can't live. You don't know it. Live without you in my life.
Heard that one as
Oh,
well.
it's a
Yeah.
tune.
So it's
It's
a tune.
such a tune.
That is
Yeah,
a
there were
tune.
so many. There was Mood to Swing
Of course.
with Pick Me Up, Pick Me Up.
That's
Do you remember
another
how it went?
classic.
Da, 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 da. When that used to come in, we used to go nuts. Everyone would just go nuts. It was so inspiring, the sound, because it made house. It just left house behind a bit, because this was 4-floor music still, but it had many pickup beats. It was super busy. It was probably the same tempo, but it was like it sounded faster or a higher tempo because of all the pickup beats and the polyphonicness of the beat patterns.
Okay.
And these became full songs, whereas house was moody with a few vocals here and there. And then US Garage was full songs like Nothing Better, like Duke, So in Love. I could think of more, but we won't bang on about it, but you get the idea.
I get the idea. So you talk about Ministry of Sound.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was, you say, the earliest time were you going there? Were you going at 92, 93 at this point, or?
It was 94.
94 you were going.
Yeah.
Was there a particular night that you were going to what was it called?
Rolling.
Okay.
Not rolling, because it was so cool. And guess who was resident? And he was the most nuts DJ in the world to watch. Such an exciting DJ to watch. It was like watching a blackjack play several tables. I'm sorry, a blackjack player playing several tables.
Who was that?
Frankie Fonsett.
Oh,
Absolute
okay.
god on the decks. Absolute god. He was resident there for 10 years. I love Frankie, and I spoke to him in recent times, but he's doing other things now.
Yeah.
I have a lot of love for Frankie Fonsett, a lot of love. He's a great guy, and he was probably the best DJ I've ever watched. Right there. I was standing right next to Ministry. I think it was about 8 decks.
All to himself.
Yeah, running all of them. And then he'd bring the Spice Girls in. If you want to be my love, and banging house. And he was off the chain. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And I'm right there watching him in real time all the way back then.
That's great. And so all of these productions you're talking about, these sort of the early stuff, like your Move to Swings, Masters at Work, Kerry Chandler,
Yeah, Kerry Chandler.
Smack Production,
Yeah, Victor Minnelli.
Victor Simonelli.
Simonelli.
So all of
Hippie
these,
Torales.
yes.
Baby. Was it that one? Did he do that one? Have I got it wrong? Baby, I miss you so much. I think he did.
Yes,
it was him.
he did. Yeah, he did.
I don't know the words.
I don't know. But I know the track you're talking. What about, so you ruling, you talk about how important ruling was.
Yeah, Rullin, you know.
Without the G.
Yeah.
There you go.
What a great name.
I know, ruling.
They were and all.
Yeah.
Absolutely ruling.
Was there any particular night that you remember, other than Frankie Fonsett playing there, was there any other DJ that was on that night and you think, I remember that night, that was a really good night as well? There was another DJ that was there, you thought that was wicked that night?
No.
No? That's right.
No one matches him. He's not matched.
That's a big statement, that. I
It's
like
true.
that. So how does that work with the Sunday scene? Because obviously what's happening is everyone's leaving Ministry and they're going over across the road, Elephant and Castle, or they're going to the Frog and Nightgown. Was that something you did?
Now, that's probably why they were going there, because of where we started out, which was the Ministry. But not everyone would have been in the Ministry. I mean, there was a few other raves going on. I'm not too sure about what else was going on.
Okay.
There was quite a few things going on. It used to be mega busy for club nights in London. This is going back some, and it was a different time. I did go to the Frog and Nightgown once, and I hated it, so I never went back.
Oh.
Where was the other place you said?
I mean, there's loads. There's obviously
There was a lot of after parties.
You got Timmy Ram Jam's events, these all dayers. You've got
the after party group.
Parties.
I didn't really get too involved. I didn't like being out that late after being out late. I would only go if I felt really brave, and even then, I always used to regret the after parties because it's just a weird vibe. And I think there was some strange vibes back then. I can't explain why. I just remember feeling that way when I went in there, and it was like, oh God, what am I doing here? I've never been an after party person, really. So sorry, I can't answer those.
That's perfectly fine. So,
can I just say though, there was a lot of house parties around this time.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone would set up a DJ deck, and we'd just be off in someone's house. Yeah. So a lot of those went on. There was a lot of like unused snooker halls and different things like that. I believe Spoonie started something in a snooker hall somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But there's so much information I'm missing.
Yeah.
Because I lived a different life to others, and each person will have a different view of that. Donna knows a lot. Donna Cousins, my girl. Hi, Donna. She knows a lot about very early times. And the clubs and the promotions, whereas I stayed in more.
Right. Okay. And then as you mentioned, sort of going back a little bit to go forward, so that's where some of your inspirations from some of your earlier stuff you were working on.
Yeah.
So with the project with PCI, with Around In My Heart, how did that come about, that collaboration?
I don't know. I can't remember.
You were saying.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. But did you remember like the track being released? Did they say that the track was being released?
No, I just think it just went unnoticed.
Unnoticed.
Yeah, it was really pretty what Gavin did, Gavin Mills, also known as Banana Republic. They had another name as well, didn't they? What was it? I can't remember.
I said,
When they did Just Gets Better.
they did some work with Carl and Matt,
Yeah,
with
Xavier.
Xavier
Great
with that.
vocalist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
I love him.
definitely. I've met
He
him.
once sang Tumbling Down to me at Twice as Nice. I made him. Whenever I met other singers and people's tracks I loved, I go, oh my God, Xavier. I went, sing Tumbling Down. He went, tumbling down. He did it for me. Dun, 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 dun. Tough Jam, wicked duo.
Can I ask you something? Did you have any involvement with Twice as Nice?
Yeah.
Talk us through that.
So I was always been a bit quirky and loved doing a bit of a cameo role. I was really well known at this point, and I always wanted to be a guest list girl. So I said to Stephen, Catherine, his then partner,
Okay.
I went, guys, can I do your guest list? They went, really? You want to do our guest? I went, yeah. I went, go on, let me have a go. But you got to remember, I PA'd there once a month as well, and it didn't matter if I had anything new or not. He booked me once a month, a bit like a period. Sorry, but that's what it was like. And I decided to do the guest list, and I was really good at it as well. And people go, oh my God, is that Colour Girl? So it was like just a cameo role, quirky thing that I wanted to do. And I used to get invited to the club meetings on Tuesdays. I think it was Tuesdays. It could have been Mondays. Memory's failing me.
That's right.
Yeah, and I never got why I got invited. So I used to go for the free lunch, eat all my food, and I'm like, right, I'm going now. You must have thought you twat. Because I never really got involved. Never took anything seriously. If somebody offered me that now, I think I would be a lot more respectful and a lot more into it. But I had scatterbrains when I was young. Who doesn't? Yeah. So yeah, I used to get invited to the club meetings. We got to say who we were going to book, who we weren't going to book. I loved throwing me in on that bit, because if it was anyone I didn't like, I'd be like, no. Let's be honest. That's what everyone does. Listen, the DJs had signs under the decks at most clubs saying, don't play this person's record, don't play that person's
No
record.
way.
Yes, they did. So that some people's record will never get an airing, which is why the pirate stations are absolutely my heroes for blowing up our tracks, because they played it all anyway. They wouldn't care about people's notices, and most of the DJs on pirates wouldn't, not all of them, but some of them wouldn't get booked in clubs anyway, so they played what they liked.
Which brings me on to my next question. So, with the collaboration with Dana Downs and Jeremy Newell for Special, talk us through how important that was from the Pirates supporting that, as well as the journey of that production.
Oh, that was nuts. So after Overview, Nathan and Shishir said to me, I said, what are we doing next then? They went, no, we're going to work with someone else. I went, oh, okay then, whatever. And I was kind of floating around like I did, and Dana Down and Jeremy Newell asked me if they could produce a track for me. I think it was on the back of Overview being so popular. So I said, oh, okay. And we made this track Special. And we never quite finished it. It needed a mastering and whatnot.
Okay.
Anyway, recorded it, didn't think much else of it. And funny enough, that was recorded at Nathan's studio as well.
In Wandsworth. Okay. Yeah.
One night after the ministry, we spent all night doing it. It was done, but it wasn't mastered. Anyway, a few weeks later, I came home to Nathan's place, and everyone was round like they always were. Her house was like a party house, and everyone was like staring at me like weirdly. And I went to Nathan, what's wrong? Has someone died? He went, no. He said, your track's all over the radio. I said, which one? And he said, Special. I went, he went back there playing it like every 10, 15 minutes. Every single station we turn to, it keeps coming on. I was like, oh my God. And then I went, it's a demo. And everyone was like, no one cares. Nobody cared.
Wow.
If you ever listen to the vocal on that, it's ropey as hell. And I never really perfected the and the bits I did. It's really scratchy vocal. And that's because it never got a chance for a mastering. But it captured the pure sound of UK garage in real time, and it related to many, and it was a full song, just like the US garage tracks, which is what I was trying to get to in dance music.
Exactly. The build up, the intro, the build up, the way your vocals sort of cuts in a little bit, the drop comes in.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd never thought that. And you did that in what? In a night.
Sorry, yeah. Well, we've
Ish.
been working on it for a while,
Wow.
and then we went to Nathan's studio after the ministry, funny enough, and just gobbed it out. Oh, you give me flowers, and then we just done the whole thing over and over again till I couldn't sing anymore.
So who was supporting special at this point? Were any DJs that were playing on the Pirates?
Well,
at this
yeah,
point?
all the pirates, and it's sad because I can't remember them all, but I can remember Freak FM, I can remember Deja Vu, I can remember Girls FM, and there are so many more. There was tons of them. They were all great,
That's
and we listened to them all. And I just can't remember the rest. It's so long ago.
So during the period of now 95, 96, the scene's evolving, okay? And obviously your tracks are getting played. So before I touch on Over You in a moment, have you noticed the change from ruling at Ministry of Sound to now it's more UK? At this point, were you noticing that you're hearing more UK sounds coming up? Did that inspire you more, or do you think that it's the same at
I
this
know
point?
exactly what happened there.
Okay,
So it was house.
okay.
First there was house.
And there was House.
Then it was US Garage,
There
the all-inspiring US Garage, which I feel inspired all of us to make this new genre, UK Garage. But at first it was called Speed Garage. So we were all, everybody involved in the early UK garage scene was making 4-floor garage. So I don't know if anybody's ever wondered why it was 4-floor and then all of a sudden it was 2-step. But 2-step was just a refining of our sound. So every early UK garage track was 4-floor because everyone wanted to be like the US garage.
Yeah.
And that's why it was born in the first place.
Nice.
Right. And then from there it evolved into 2-step. But people were already making their names in the UK with garage anyway. People such as Grant Nelson, Tough Jam, the Dreem Team. I'm trying to think what other producers. Ray Hurley. God, I forget.
So some of the earlier stuff, so may help you there. So you would have also Ant Hill Mob, New Horizon.
Thank you.
That's all right.
Brass Tooth.
Brass Tooth. Yeah, shouts to Brass Tooth. Good friend of mine. Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Hello, Brass.
Yeah.
Should go CD, go to your lab. Who else? There were so many great producers around this time, and they were making really inspiring music. And
We've also forgot someone.
go on.
MJ Cole.
Oh my God, yeah.
So that would have been that, yeah.
Yeah, MJ Cole.
Yeah.
Ramsey and Fenn.
Of course.
God, I can't remember everyone, and I feel
No,
bad.
that's all right. But you've noticed the scene's changing.
Wait, hang on, my brother.
Ooh.
I forgot my brother. M-Dubs.
How can you forget him?
Yeah. I just want to be your man. So Richie Dan sung on Over Here. And he also did Baby, I work for this.
The Bump and Grind.
Yeah, the Bump and Grind.
Yeah. Yeah, some classics there. Y Tribe.
Oh yeah, Ali White Tribe, my lovely Ali.
Yeah.
Hi Ali. You should try and get Ali. He's a great guy. He was really sweet. Did you ever meet Ali?
I've never met Ali. No.
I don't know if he's living in the UK anymore, but he followed me recently on Instagram.
Yeah.
I found him by accident, so I followed him and he followed me back. And I've actually done a piano rendition of Joyrider on my page and posted it. And he saw it and he liked it because obviously he made that big mix that made it happen. So
exactly.
he's behind a few tracks. Favorite Girl.
Yes, he has.
I'm with my favorite girl. What else did he do?
I Want to Know.
Enough is enough.
Enough's enough. Elizabeth
I
Troy.
want to know. Oh, that used to be my fave track. Do you like this forever?
Yeah, I Want to Know is that one.
Yeah,
It's all a sort of similar time that was. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he made some tunes. And do you know what? I got a mate. I had a mate once. So I won't name her on here because it's not music. But she said, "Oh, I really love this track and I really love that track and I really love this track." And I said, "Well, no wonder. It's all the same producer." She went, "Really?" She went, "Oh, God." She went, "No wonder I like them." I went, "Well, obviously."
Obviously.
But Ali had mastered that smooth and tap and tap and tap. He mastered it.
His production was different. You know? Yeah.
Really smooth and cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to for me, one of the best intros to a garage track. The way musically you listen to it, you mix it, it comes in. Over You. You need to talk about Over You. Let's talk about that journey. How did that come about? The idea, the inspiration behind that classic.
I didn't write that.
No.
No, I never admit stuff I didn't write. I don't have to because I wrote
Okay.
so many other songs. No,
How'd that come
Overview
about?
was actually came from somebody else's head,
Okay.
and that somebody was Shishi.
Okay, Gavin.
Yeah, him and Nathan called me to the studio. Went, Beck, come over. You know, we've got this really good tune going. You know, not me, because I might have had one puff. Can I say that on camera? Yeah, actually, I smoked some herbs once. Yeah. Anyway, got in the studio, and they were making this tune. Now, back in them times, right, you had either really average, just filler tracks, or you had tracks that stood out like Over You. And I always said that's when the producers could afford a keyboard player for the day. But they got this keyboard player in. I believe his name was Nick. Now that's well remembered by me, right? I believe his name was Nick, and they just gave him some herbs, and he was well chuffed with the green and played that beautiful
And off
intro.
he went.
Yeah. Then Shishi come up to me, and he was stoned out of his peanut, and he went, "Beck, I've got some ideas." I went, "Give them to me," and he went, "Do da 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 da." So I did it. Then he went, "Beck, can you do another thing?" I went, "Yeah, go on." He went, "Do and the things you do, and the things you." So I did that as well. And then he went,
Wow.
"Right, now I want you to go over you, I'm over you, over you, I'm over you." So I did that. And then he went, "Keep on in, keep on it." And then we put it all together. Obviously, I made it sound the way it sounded. I did the performance side and took it. He gave me the sort of idea on the melody. And I was like, "Keep on it, keep on it."
Okay, yeah.
Did it all. Did it all myself.
I love that breakdown in that part. And the
Yeah.
flute, and it comes back in
Yeah.
again.
It's all
Oh.
because I had Nick the keyboard player on the old green album.
I have something here. So, Outlaw Records,
Oh,
baffled operator things are never.
yeah.
I love this.
Well, I've got a story about that.
Talk us through it.
Do you know who Outlaw was? Do you know whose label that was?
I do.
Frankie
Frankie
Fonset.
Fonset. How did that come about?
Well, when he heard I Believe in You, which we'd made things and
You can have a look if you want.
we'd made this one.
Yeah.
And then straight away we made I Believe in You.
Oh.
You got me always thinking, yeah.
Well, I've got that
And it was I Believe in You
Yeah.
that got Frankie's attention.
Which is, I think, release number 2, if I'm mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you can remember the intro on that, it goes, "You got me always thinking," and then there's a string running.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
he said to me, Beck, he rang me up on my house phone. He said, "Hi, is Beck there, please?" I don't even know how he got my home number. There was no mobiles.
Of course,
really.
back then. Well, they were there, but it wasn't as
Yeah,
popular.
I didn't have one.
No.
So he went, "It's Frankie Fonset," and I went, "Hi." And he went, "I've just heard a track you've done called I Believe in You." He goes, "And I want to sign it." He goes, "You're so talented. It's one of the best intros I've ever heard." And I swear, I think I actually fell off my couch.
Which is this one here.
Oh my God. So he took both of these on the strength of this one.
Oh, right.
I really never understood that project. I'm not really sure where that guy operator sprung from. He wasn't really
Okay.
someone I would choose to work with, and I never got why Nathan involved him in the track because we didn't need him. So things are never. Yeah, it's a good track and all, but I don't have great.
Very
memories.
popular, but it was very popular though. Did you ever do a launch party for it at
No.
the time?
Oh, yes, we had a launch party. Well done, Shane. You'd been doing your homework. We did have a launch party. Frankie put on a launch party at none other than the legendary Legends in Old Burlington Street.
Oh.
Boy, was that a venue. Oh my God, it was so glamorous. It was epitomized the whole, you know, like the how can I say? So people in UK garage were really into how they looked, Moschino, and that is how it's pronounced because I had a bit of a sponsorship with them. That's how I know, a kind of unofficial one.
Okay.
That was the main brand that people wore, of Versace, or Versace, if you want to get it wrong. And people wore designer clothes.
Yeah.
So Legends was the perfect backdrop for this. It
Right.
was so glam. It was chrome. It was pot plants. There was mirrors everywhere. And right in the middle was this windy staircase. And it was just an epic little venue. I had some of my best times in there, and it would only run on Thursdays.
Yeah, we've interviewed DT recently,
Yeah.
and DT talks about Horny being one of their nights on
Yeah.
on a Thursday, and he
It could have
talks.
been what it was.
It may have been, yeah, and he talks about that venue a lot. Double J and Scorpio, those guys,
Yeah.
and he raves about that, how popular they were in the
Oh,
early days.
it was mobbed.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have the chance to rave at Legends, but yeah, I can imagine from what
Oh,
you've said
I heard
how
it's an antique shop now. I was like, what? How boring.
boring it is.
Wah, wah, wah. Funny enough, my sister, who lives in LA,
Mm.
her name's Jojo, and she's my only sister. When she went over there, she worked in a dive bar called the Tap and Cap, and boy, did they have some parties. I experienced some of them firsthand.
Yeah.
And then when that closed down, I said to Jo, what happened to it? She went, it's an antique shop. And I was like, really? So 2 legendary places turned into antique shops.
Antiques.
How does that happen?
No idea.
How can you go from raving heaven to
To an antique.
wah, wah, wah? Unless you're into old shit. I don't know. I'm not into old shit particularly. I am old.
No, you're not.
I
You've
love
answered one
being
of my
old.
questions though on I Believe in You. Love the track, by the way. So we will move
I
on.
wrote that, by the way.
You wrote that one?
Yeah, I did. It's got verses.
Yeah. The intro on that is, yeah. I remember first time I heard that, it was on a compilation, and I was
Do you know?
like, another one of hers. 'Cause the track I'm going to talk about in a moment leads on to how I then went backwards to try to understand your music more. So
Yeah. Well, my favourite thing on I Believe in You is, yeah, I do love the way the whole thing sounds, but
Mm.
one of the things that started to really stick with me was the B line. "Da-na-na, da-da-da-da-da-da,
Oh yeah,
da-da-na-na, da-da-da-da-da." Kind of was
absolutely.
very reggae-ish in ways.
It certainly is.
I loved it. And then there's a bit where they drop it up. You know, towards the end, it goes, you got me singing like I love ya. So it sounds really light because the B line's been taken out.
Correct.
And then when it comes back, it's
Kid.
like, oh yeah. Da-na-na, da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's like that warmth back. And it's a reminder that, hey, I'm still here.
Here.
I love outros that talk to you. Intros and outros are
The
incredibly
outro
important.
on that is really good as well. The way that you have your vocals at the end and it just fades out. Yeah. And again, it goes back to what we're talking about, understanding and knowing your music.
Yeah, your music has to go somewhere.
It has
It
to.
has to make sense.
All the mixes.
Most
are
average
mega.
people who listen to music don't understand why they like it. But for people who know, will tell you it's because it makes sense. It goes somewhere.
Yeah.
It might not be a picture you can see, but it is a picture.
It is.
And it's like a story. You know, intros and outros are really important because an intro is the prelude to your favorite song. So when you would hear "Pick Me Up," you knew that track was coming. If you had "Oh yeah," you know what track's coming. You know, if you
100%.
hear
Yeah.
"Joyrider," you know what track's
You're
coming.
living in.
Do you know what I mean?
You've got to have a signature.
Okay. You know.
Yeah.
Or even B lines can be that prelude.
Are you like me where it takes you like 2, 3, 4 seconds to listen to something and your attention span's like double?
Yes. Yes. I did it just yesterday. So I'm doing a study of house music at the moment so I can sound authentic when I produce my own sounds. I still don't quite think I'm authentic enough yet, but I'm working on it.
Okay.
And I'll put them on Spotify, put it on like tick, 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 fucking piss off. Next. So yeah, I do. I absolutely do it, and it gets on my nerves, and I don't like wasting any seconds of my life on anything that bores the shit out of me, basically. I can't.
No,
It includes people.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste. I'm in the 3rd semester of my life, which I love, and I'm having a great time, but that doesn't mean I have a second to waste on anything that winds me up or I don't like or is not interesting. Because you start to realize how precious every second is.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, no, as soon as I hear something, I'm like, not for me.
No.
I might give it a second chance depending on who the person is, the artist or the musician. But generally, I'm like,
Yeah.
next one. I can't, next one. Oh, but if it's someone like your track now, I'm like, I don't even need to listen to it because I already know
Yeah.
the work you've put into it, and your releases speaks volumes for that. So I would know that. So but anyway, that's another conversation.
Yeah.
Underground Solution, Tears. For me, that was one of my first tracks I heard of yours.
Oh,
right?
really?
The Dreem Team mix.
Yeah.
For me, every time I look at this, I remember as a youth teen going to the record shop and seeing it on the shelf. Shout out to the
Oh,
crew that worked
bless
at
you,
Swag
Shane. Do you
Records in
remember
Croydon.
that?
I
That's so
remember
cool.
hearing it on a compilation
Yeah.
and then going to the shop to buy it and just
Oh,
having a copy of it. It was just like all the mixes on there. I mean, even listening to like EZ playing it, he played it quite a lot,
mm,
and all the other guys, the Pirates were playing, they were supporting it. So that was my first
yeah.
track of yours. That did the rounds in 98. Talk us through the track itself and working with the Dream Team and Danny Foster and the crew.
Danny Foster and T Smooth, another
Mm,
Smooth,
T
Gavin
Smooth.
Smooth, T Smooth.
Mm,
What happened was I'd kind of written it,
mm.
and then Danny invited me over to his house. I think he had a party.
Okay.
Uh, so I thought, sorry, I've got nothing better to do. So I went to Danny's house and we just started to record it. And when I started singing, just the other night when you were sleeping, they were like, okay, yeah, yeah. But as soon as I went, it feels like love to me, they looked up and they were like, and then that was it. And then Danny helped write part of the second verse. He
Oh.
wrote the part that went, uh, what's the second verse? I can't think what my second verse is.
Um,
He helped write a bit of the second verse anyway.
okay.
Then he
Move on.
got picked up by an independent label pretty much straight away.
Yep.
Um, and then the Dream Team mix happened, but I didn't actually work with them. Timmy Magic was the remixer producer on the track on behalf of the Dream Team. And I rated Timmy quite a lot. He was a nice guy, but also, sorry, he is a nice guy. I believe he's still alive. And he made great music, and he also did the Amira remix, which was massive, My Desire.
He did indeed. Yeah.
But I have to say,
Mm.
I wasn't warming to two-step around this time, so Tears two-step remix was my first two-step track, and I just remember thinking, I prefer Danny's mix because it's 4/4 still.
4/4. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so close to the US sound I was trying to get to. So when
Oh.
it went to that, I was like, oh, what is this? I don't even like it.
So you
Damn.
didn't even like the Dream Team mix at
Not at
first?
first. I didn't like any
Oh.
two-step at first. I thought, what is this nonsense? I just wanted to be all Hail Mary on the 4th floor, go fuck yourself. Didn't want two-step.
That's interesting because it's that mix that really took off.
I know,
Interesting.
yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
But by the time Ali did Joyrider,
Yeah.
I was way into his sound.
Okay. So at this point now, you've got your bangers now. They're tearing up the dance floor. And then there's the UK garage scene's changing now. It's now more commercial. Mainstream stations are playing your music.
Yeah.
Was just on the subject of that, going back to Things Are Never, was that the first UK garage track to be playlisted on Kiss?
No,
What of your no garage track? I'm talking.
not that I'm aware of.
You're aware
Although
of, no?
Nathan may disagree. I don't have a memory of that.
Okay.
Oh, wait, hang on. When Frankie signed us, we did get a lot of airing on Kiss. Sorry. So it could well have. See, this is where my memory's bad.
Yeah. No. That's
Nathan may remember it way better than me.
okay.
Yeah, we were on Kiss a lot because of Frankie.
Yeah.
So yes, we absolutely probably did get on there, yeah.
Yeah. That probably would make more sense. Just some research I was doing. So just
No, you're
checking.
right. Well done, Shane. Well done to you. I'm glad you pick up my sieve brain for me.
So,
So.
it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. We're just gonna sort of move on a little bit before towards the end of the podcast. So you've obviously now got all these string of releases now, and you're working towards your album. And you put a little album project together. Just talk us through some of the producers you may have worked with that you enjoyed working on that collaboration with at that time. If you can remember any good sessions from them.
I worked with New Jack. It was Julian, Jonah, and Danny. I can't remember
Danny
Dan.
Harrison.
Yes, thank you. I worked with them. They originally did Joyrider.
Yeah.
Brand new. I had it. I didn't rate Joyrider at the time. I was just singing for the sake of it. I was having really bad issues, so I didn't give a fuck
Okay.
about it, and I thought it was boring.
That Y Tribe mix is a
Minnow.
That
Wasn't.
that summer '99, hearing that on every pirate station was crazy.
Mm,
That was another one that I just went straight into the
mm,
shop
mm,
and bought that. That wasn't even no hesitation. That
mm.
was, yeah, that's even giving me goosebumps now, even talking about it. It's just, oh,
Yeah.
just hearing it. Yeah, that's memories. I remember it got, I don't sadly have it with me today because someone had nicked it. Anyway, that's another conversation. But yeah, that was one of those records. All the boys would be like, we would go around a mate's house and
Mm,
they want to mix, and we were all learning to mix, and then they'd be
mm,
like, I want to play Joyride. I want to play that tune. That
mm.
was that tune. So
But no, making of the album, Shane,
yeah,
was a weird experience. It wasn't something I enjoyed. I was
mm,
never allowed to work with just one person, which would have
right,
been a lot better because you can
okay,
develop things more.
mm,
Um, so my memories of making the album were pretty shit.
okay,
And it should have been a great time.
yeah,
Um, I sometimes was in the studio, but was under duress because of something that was going on in my life, and it was really crippling.
right,
So I had to be creative. See the Joyrider vocal.
yeah.
I was so under duress when I did it, and when I listen to that, that's all I hear. I've never been a fan of Joyride. I think it sucks.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I,
sad
I
to hear
was
that.
I was stunned that it
Mm,
was my biggest selling record. Couldn't believe it. I was so sad when I was singing that, and there was reason for it, which I would never say.
yep, that's
It's not even
understandable.
worth. But you need to understand where I was at when I was recording my biggest record, and it weren't anywhere good. And that's why I was shocked to see how it did.
It's a story. When you think of all the great songs out there, sometimes they've all got meanings, and meanings that we've all gone through things, but it's never, to me, or till to this day, I wouldn't have known that. But it's one of your biggest ones, but it has a story behind it, and it's such a
I wrote
yeah.
it about a guy,
Okay,
but I will never ever say who it is.
okay,
And it weren't my then boyfriend. It wasn't Nath at this point. It was
mm,
someone else.
okay,
It was. I will never say who it is. I had a secret crush,
okay.
and
Hmm.
that person doesn't deserve the big ups. You know, like how Amy Winehouse wrote that whole album on that loser guy.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to that. How can things, such great things, be inspired by absolute losers? That's basically kind of what he is.
Kind of where it went.
That's why you never know. Thanks, though. Thanks for my song.
No worries. Just before we sort of wrap the podcast up, the why do you think the UK garage scene went the way it did, the demise of it? Why did it sort of tail off towards the sort of beginning of the early noughties?
I think there wasn't enough new music being made. I
Mm,
think everyone sat lazy on their big hits and lived off what they'd already done for too long,
yeah.
which is why now in today's world, the
Mm,
new younger people making garage are coming through more than them and taking over in many ways because they're relentless and they've got the hunger that we may have had in the early days. Now I would never have stopped making music. I was just being stopped. So I guess you could say when I jumped off,
yeah.
you
In
know,
that way. Yeah. On a positive note, though, how are
yeah.
you keeping yourself motivated these days?
Self belief,
Yeah.
um, knowing what my true love is,
Yeah.
which is loving yourself, which sounds cliche, but it's true.
Yeah.
Knowing that you're a good person, even though you might not be everybody's cup of tea, who gives a fuck? Because you gotta have integrity as well. My heart is my integrity. As long as you don't piss me off, I'll never piss you off. If you're nice to me, I'll always be nice to you. That's who I am. Love me or like me, love me or leave me. I can't waste time on anything I don't like. And so for me, is that growth that you have in there and in here. And it keeps you on the path you need to be on. Oh,
100%.
and exercise. I'm a gym freak.
How many times a week do you train?
I get up at 5 a.m. and I go 5 days a week and then I have weekends off.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's dedication.
Well, I like food and I don't,
Yeah.
I try and stay a certain way.
No, that's understandable. And what should we be looking out for in 2025? Anything or
Yeah,
just
as a producer, I'm making new music, making house, tech house. I'm a big fan of tech house music, especially with vocals in, but also I'm making sample tracks as well. So lots of new music as the producer, the singer, and the composer. And I'll be starting my new record label, and it will be called Colour Girl Records.
Beautiful.
You know why?
I do. I am looking forward to that indeed.
Yeah.
Right. Just before we wrap up our podcast, I
Yeah.
ask all my guests these. We do 5 questions, a little bit about yourself.
Okay.
Quickly, and they're just going to be quick few questions. All right.
Yeah.
So, in no particular order. Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee. Yeah, I love coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sugar with it?
No, straight up black coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
no milk, no sugar.
Yeah.
No.
No worries. What's your favorite venue you've performed at, and where was it? And if you can remember.
I know exactly where it was. Camden Palace. When it was Camden Palace.
Yeah.
And it would have been in the 90s.
Yeah.
That's when I performed there. There was no feeling like walking out on that stage, and it was rammed to the rafters, literally, because garage was so popular at the time.
Yeah. Camden Palace there. That is such a venue.
I knew straight away, and as soon as you asked.
Yeah. Okay. Favorite movie of all time?
Movie.
Movie of all time, yeah.
Oh, wow.
There may be loads, but you can just pick one. Like, it stands out for you.
Leon.
Leon. Who's
He's a hip man, and the little girl, his next door neighbour's kids, always being left in the hallway, and she's now grown up. She does this. She now adds what's her name? Really pretty, sort of like a rose, pretty actress. Is it Emily Portman? No.
Not
She was the little girl in Leon. She's
the
now
movie.
a grown woman. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry?
Yeah, Leon. It was a
Leon?
pretty good film.
Ministry of Sound or Club Coliseum?
How could you do that to me?
You've got to pick one.
Can I do it in one word?
Go on.
Both.
There you go. I'll tell you, like I said, that's an answer then. That's all right. If someone was to make a movie about your life, okay, which actor would you like to play you, and why?
God, I don't know the names of many actors and actresses.
That's one.
Could it be past or present, I suppose?
Either or.
I'd want a real English chick who looks similar. I don't know anyone really. Sorry.
We'll let you pass on that one then. R&B, soul, or disco. We'll leave it on that one.
What era?
Any era.
Disco, definitely not.
Okay.
I have enjoyed soul because that's all we had in the early 80s. So I guess it's going to have to be R&B.
R&B. I need to say that.
Yeah.
I need to say that.
At Coliseum used to have Twice As Nice. Used to have garage in one room,
And
R&B in
the other. Yeah.
Yeah, and you never cut through the R&B room because you would get groped. So if you needed to go to the loo, always go the long way around the main room to the Kazi.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to get groped, pulled around. The R&B room was renowned for it. It was gross. Sexual harassment. Why are you grinding through the R&B room?
You're getting groped.
Yeah.
Things don't change.
No. Oh, do they not?
No.
I don't really go clubbing anymore. I'm only in them if I'm getting paid.
No, it doesn't change. Listen, Colour Girl, lovely to have you on the podcast today. It's been a pleasure. Okay. And thank you to yourselves all to be watching as well. Okay. And until then, thank you for watching. Thank you.